This is episode 230 of the Gold Squadron podcast. I'm your host, Dion Morales, and today I'm joined by Marcel. I forced Dion to play in a team tournament, Manzano.
We'll see if that was a good decision or a bad decision by next week.
I'm also joined by William, best teammate, Hagewood.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
And Ryan, my wife loves Halloween a lot, Staniszewski.
I mean, it shows when the baby shower is very Halloween themed, and our wedding was too. So, not overly done, but tastefully.
All right, so today our podcast episode brought to you by our Gold Squadron patrons. Become a patron by going to Gold Squadron Podcast. Sorry, that's a lie. Patreon.com/Gold Squadron. Thank you to everybody who has supported us. Now, today our main topic is we sent out a blast on Discord and said, hey, show us your extended lists. What are you looking at? Now that people have had the lists for a while, we have the Scarif Galactic Championship coming up. We focused on Hoth for a while, but that was a hyperspace event. So now, kind of broadening the scope, what are some of the things you're building? We got a ton of responses for that. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we're probably not going to be able to hit them all. Our goal today is in our time together to hit at least one for every faction. But there's a topic I'd like to bring up first that was not in the notes because I just remembered it. So, yippee-ki-yay, here we go. So, last week, AMG updated their Marcel, maybe you could describe where this was at, because I got it in a text message. Was it in the
It's in the rules PDF, the regular rules PDF, that got updated in the last or second to the last page, where they're going through and doing all of the all of the legal stuff. They copy pasted a number of things from Marvel Crisis Protocol. And in those, one of them was just some. There's a couple things. We'll leave the other one for the third one. So the first one was just saying something like, you cannot modify your ships in a way that will interfere with the game. In other words, you can't put something that sticks out and then it's going to bump all the other ships over. That was kind of that's a no-brainer. The other one was, you may not at any point remove the base from the ship from the base during play. That's kind of, I mean, they phrased it differently, but it's basically what it's saying. You can't take your ship off, which obviously we know that that's not possible because you need to measure for arc and stuff like that. There's something in there that goes into that. It's something that says, like, it's a copy paste from Marvel Crisis Protocol because it makes sense for that game. Anyway, obviously you can't enforce that if you want to do an arc check or you want to bump ships or they get too close and the wings are big. The third one, that one. The ships must always be attached to Star Wars X-Wing base or model base that is the appropriate size and shape of the original miniature.
Can I tell you something? A bag of tricks though that they opened up in here. You see that other spot? It says Star Wars X-Wing base or a modeled base. Like,
now I don't know if by modeled base they mean like the ETA has that where it plugs in. It's a base, but it's a model base. Or on the Epic ships, you could put it in underneath the Gazanti and stuff like that. So I don't know if they mean by that, because that's a model, but it's a base that serves as...
Yeah, so let's back up real quick. Miniatures must always be attached to a Star Wars X-Wing base or a model base that is appropriate size and shape of the original miniature. That does not mean you're not allowed to take off a ship for the purposes of marking a ship in the middle of the game. It just means they want you to keep it connected when playing to a base that's supposed to be used for the game and not an incorrectly sized game approved base. That's all it means. It doesn't mean you can't take your ship off the base in the middle of the game.
Okay, and that's fine. Like I said, that's not a biggie. The one that we were talking about is the top one. If you scroll up once, it's double written on there, which says, I was reading off that, so that was a little slow. Players may not customize a miniature in such a way that any part of the miniature represents the intellectual property of any property except Lucasfilm, including copyright logos, symbols, iconic elements, or other iconography. So that means they're not saying like a Disney property. They're saying specifically like Lucasfilm, which is Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and like a couple other IPs. I think the Howard the Duck is one of them. And a couple other IPs. Basically, it's the only thing that is. And obviously it's subjective because you can put, your team logo and your high school logo or a C, and somebody can interpret it as a bear. So it's not really enforceable, I don't think. But
I think it is absolutely ridiculous. Can I say that? Like, I bought your ship. Leave me alone. Like that when I read this, that was literally my reaction. And okay, this is what I can see. This is what maybe their reasoning is in the future, when AMG would hold Worlds, or actually let me back it up. When FFG would hold Worlds, if you had some type of customized ship, they would have you play or try to locate a stock model ship. Okay? I get that. But how this is in my opinion, outside of that, 100% unenforceable. It's unenforceable because now you're telling me that somebody who paints up their ship to look like their local military, you paint something to be creative, to do something a little different, and it just bothers me. Why are you trying to control the thing that I bought? It doesn't affect the game. It doesn't affect the game.
Yeah, I don't think it's enforceable or that they even will try to enforce it unless it's a scenario where, like you said, they're going to stream it and then, just to cover. I think this is, again, I think it's one of those things where, the lawyer says, hey, we need this on here in order to, Disney wants us to put this, IP that we're not going to do this and put it on there. Obviously, 2 lawyers told them because they put it on there twice. But other than that, I don't think it's enforceable or anything else. The only other thing is like maybe if it's not being streamed, but then they have like their social media person walking around taking pictures and posting them on Facebook, then they're, on a tournament, then they got to be careful about which pictures they take. But I mean, I don't know how much you can do with that because if you're wearing a T-shirt that has Coca-Cola, then you're probably wrong. Like, don't wear Coca-Cola T-shirts. But if you're wearing a T-shirt that has Gold Squadron podcast on it, they're not gonna post your picture, like.
But even see, I see ISO Fane. I see what you're saying. Like, this is for official tournaments only. I can't say what I want to say because it's a family-friendly channel. It doesn't, like, I'm paying, as long as it's not offensive event in any way. AMG is all about their painting and their art. It just doesn't make any sense to me that you're going to enforce this. And let me go for their first AMG event coming up at Adepticon. It's not even AMG staff running the thing. It's Cascade Games. You're going to tell me Cascade Games is going to delineate to their judges? I know you got a bunch of things to do. Can you also go around and make sure that everything here is Lucasfilm property? Thanks. No. If you go to Worlds, when that time comes, bring extra models if you're worried about it. But that's about the only time I'm going to care or recommend it. So, That's my opinion on it. And I definitely got a bunch of messages being like, Dion, what about Paint Wars? Are you going to stop Paint Wars? No. No, are you kidding? Not even.
That's purely a creative thing, a creative, friendly competition to help bring our community together in the painting aspect and broaden the exposure of that amount of awesome skill and creativity through GSP. That is nothing high level official that AMG should ever need to have to care about ever. And if for some reason they care about it, then that's a concerning direction.
Absolutely. And listen, I will tell you, like, I went after this came out in my like, are you serious? I was like, fine. Paint Wars Season 3, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Howard the Duck. All right. What's the
Lucasfilm season of Paint Wars.
Right, exactly. Right. Just like full sarcasm season of just like the deepest. Like we'll go into the LucasArts video games. They had a bunch of really weird video games.
Can you get Grim Fandango or whatever that game was?
Yeah.
For the Skeleton Detective.
Yeah, we're going for it.
Let's go deep. Monkey Island, is that one of their games? What is it?
Yeah.
Theatrical films owned by Lucasfilm besides Star Wars and Indiana Jones. You have American Graffiti.
There you go.
You have Labyrinth, Howard the Duck, Willow. And
Willow's
the Land
good.
Before The Land Before Time. There's
Yes.
There's definitely some stuff you could make a whole series for. A whole season.
Yep. Because the whole point, like the whole idea of Paint Wars was to force people outside of the Star Wars aesthetic. All right? Like, I don't want people like drawing a stripe on it and saying, look, I put a Squadron stripe on it. Paint Wars, yo. No, I can't do it. But am I being a little heated in my response to this? Yes. That's just because I think it's, dumb. But anyway.
Lightly.
Yes, that's we'll put it lightly. I just think it's.
Just put it in Star Wars insulting terms. That's all fine, right? That's PG.
Poodoo. Alrighty. Anyway, so those are two very interesting things that came out of the most recent rules update. Like I saw it, I rolled my eyes. I do not plan to alter course for Paint Wars. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do me until something happens. Because and here's my question. The only thing that would actually cause me to deviate from my current plan is if people wouldn't want the models anymore, which I guess could be a reaction. All right, but if we do this really cool Marvel episode and somebody makes this like tricked out Iron Man YV666, you're gonna be like, nah, man, I don't want that.
Is that a spoiler?
Could be.
All
It
right.
could not be.
Go. I don't know.
We don't know. I don't know. Dion doesn't show us anything, and you know that, Marcel. We're as surprised as the audience sometimes.
That's right. I'm a wild card. I'm crazy. All right, but anywho, we'll keep it going. So now that I've come off my soapbox, I can relax here a little bit. Our main topic today. Let's get into it. We're taking a look at extended lists that were sent to us by you, our audience and supporters. So let's go ahead and we'll pull some up. Will, I'll let you have first pick. You pulled a bunch of them. What faction do you want to go after first, and which list do you want to go after?
Let's actually go. I'm feeling new Y-Wings. Let's go with the Resistance list. It also has a great name called Venn Diagram. Spot on name.
All right, let me go ahead, pull it up right here. Give me a moment. All right. Zoop. There it is. So this was sent to us by one of our fam here. We got Vinny in the Star Fortress with Perceptive Copilot, Automated Target Priority, Thermal Detonators. We also got 3, yes, count them, 3 Resistance Y-Wing. We got Lega with Ion Cannon Turret, L4E3R5, oh my goodness, and engine upgrade, and we'll talk about what that is here in a minute, or actually, Will, you can tell us what that is. And then we got 2 Republic Patrol Y-Wings with Ion Cannon Turret, Connor Nets, Automated Target Priority, and engine upgrade.
All right, so the Larry's, what is Layers? I forget his name now. You can transfer one calculate token to a friendly ship in your firing arc at the start of the engagement phase, and I believe it also gives you rotate to white calculate. That might be a red calculate. Does the SB tell me what colors things are?
It should be no, but I'm going to double check because I feel like it should be red as well.
I believe it's red, but maybe that's Watchful Astromech. I think that
might be Watchful, yeah.
Yeah, that's Watchful Astromech. So it gives you a rotate linked to calculate because Lega. So there's 2 components here in this list. First off, there's Lega, which gets rerolls for each friendly device or calculating friendly ship in the attack arc. So you're going to get devices. That's where the counter nests are coming in. If you can't drop them right on somebody, you can maybe drop them in a way, block off a lane, maybe get some rerolls. Then the other part is the calculating friendly ships. So Lega can pass the token with layers, and then can get calculates between either boosting, utilizing the intuitive interface, because these aren't wartime loadouts. These are when you boost, you get a calculate Y-Wings. And on top of that, you're getting calculates from automated targeting priority, because if the Y-Wings don't have a calculate, they could engage and then get before Lega and get a calculate instead. So pretty interesting stuff with the Y-Wings. A lot of control, the ions, turrets, and the counter nuts. And I think the only thing that's missing is more calculates. So Vinny has Perceptive Copilot. Why don't we just get C-3PO for cheaper? C-3PO give you 2 calculates for your action. You can also calculate and coordinate for a stress as well. But that leaves us 3 points though. So now we have to make real decisions. We do have thermal detonators on Vinny right now. We could put.
You got to find a way to get trajectory simulator on Vinny.
You can drop thermals to You can drop thermals to bomblet. Then I think trajectory fits.
Ooh, yeah, that's 6 points. Now,
I would even drop it to a seismic charge if you can get it to.
Bomblet's 2 points.
I'm just saying if you can find a point that the seismic.
Yeah, just kind of try to clear the way. I was trying to get a delayed fuse in there with trajectory simulator, but we had to drop an upgrade off of somebody.
What?
You can remove the automated target priorities off some of the Y-Wings.
Do you really need L4?
That's what I was looking at.
I mean, that L4 is just...
To transfer the calculate token.
To pass it off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's fancy, but and honestly, like, you shouldn't need to rotate very often. Like, everybody's turret's going to be facing one way, and you're kind of going to be sweeping.
I think you take automated off Vinny because you maybe with that front arc attack you want to be able to choose.
Yeah,
I mean,
then
granted,
you
you're likely taking the range 1, and you could choose your mobile, your side arc bow
Yeah, and
ties.
Vinny activates after Lega anyways. So I think that's
They're
where
all
I would
I3.
change.
Or no, Vinny's I2.
Vinny's
okay.
I2, yeah. So
Yeah, so
I would
having
trade
automated
out.
trigger before Lega doesn't make that much, or after Lega doesn't make that much sense.
Yeah, so I'm gonna slap some fuses and trajectory on there because you still get the reroll for the like a frozen bomblet as well. So that would be another device you could utilize. And I think that's really all I would change. I think that's a big improvement. It makes Vinny's like the joust threatening then because your Y-wings can't really threaten the joust. So at least you can hook a bomb at opposing forces. You got to coordinate if you need it, like emergency button.
Can you give me that loadout again on Vinny? Because you can't put bomblet because it needs 2 slots. You can't
take out thermal.
You take away thermal.
Take away thermal.
So I have trajectory, C-3PO, bomblet generator, and delayed fuses.
All right, and we had 4 points. Oh, and you left the L.
Yeah, we'll just leave that.
L435.
Like I said, I kind of like this little Y-wing. I mean, I don't know if it's good, like investing in all the calculates and stuff, but I mean, most of the time these Y-wings are going to shoot the range 1 target no matter what. So, and they get to choose their weapon right before automated kicks in.
I think it is worth considering, like Marcel said, to find a way if you don't like the automated target priorities on one or both of those Y-wings, giving upgrading that bomblet to a seismic might matter a lot. Sort of clear the way early game for some obstacles and rocks that are kind of in the way. A lot of people don't do it that often, but I think it's very viable to throw a seismic out to an obstacle you know is going to give you trouble early game and just reload because you're not shooting in some of the early rounds.
Yeah, with everybody being the same initiative, well, at least the Y-wings anyways, you could get into a situation where you had to shoot a dead ship.
Yeah, for automated.
Yeah, I mean, you have the 2 different weapons you can choose from, but I could see that come up. What do you do with the last point then if you're going seismic and fuses? Do you just put it on Lega then?
You can make any of the. So if you take out both automated target priorities, and then you upgrade the seismic, one of those Y-wings can become Shaza. You never know.
Ooh, that's right. She's also another I3. That fits in there as well. Shaza says after you defend, you can choose a friendly ship in your rear at range 0 to 2, and one of your green tokens, if you do, that ship gains a matching token. So you can give it to the other Y-wing. So now both the Y-wings, other than Lega, would have calculates.
That, there's some level to the extra passing where Lega has layers or Lars or whatever, tosses it to Shaza after Shaza may have sent one back to a friend after defending. Who knows? But, I don't know what else to do with that one last point other than just adding some additional words onto a card to help some potential situations.
Yeah, and this is as a note, this is like J7's list. But yeah, I think this works good. This is got a lot of synergy, a lot of health. Whew, so much health. And yeah, everybody's leaning into the calculates.
Cool. All right, so there you go. We end up with Vinny has trajectory simulator, C-3PO, seismic charges, and delayed fuses. Lega with ion cannon turret, L4ER5, an engine upgrade. We also have no, not anymore. Now we have Shaza Zaro with engine upgrade, ion turret, and counter nets, and then we have a New Republic patrol with those same upgrades as Shaza, and we're at that 200 points. Very nice. Now, we're going to go ahead. We're going to bounce to Ryan. Now, Ryan, we were looking for some Separatist lists in our sheet. We seem to be a little scarce on them.
We were. I think Will might have found one, and then I created one.
So created one.
Oh, so there actually weren't any.
There wasn't any.
Because I looked and Will made one and I made one. All right. So I'll go through mine first, and then if we want to hop to Will later or right after, we can do that. But
It's the bottom one.
GSP community, where you at? No Separatist players showed up to make lists. Where are the Roger Rogers? But actually, an old extended list archetype that I think may or may not work well at this point. We're seeing ship counts go down, and when ship counts go down, 1v1 dueling ships that have really good abilities, such as Ensnare Nantex, can be pretty good, especially when some of the named Nantexes are now even cheaper than the generic Nantexes. Chair Tech is only 1 point more than an I3 and 1 point less than an I4 Petronaki Arena Ace. Apparently, the community hated the generic Nantexes so much, AMG just said, all right, fine, just play the named ones. So we got Sunfok with Ensnare. We got Chair Tech with Ensnare. I started building because the original one was Sunfak, Chair Tech, Grievous, but a lot of that was because they wanted a bid. How well this list can do when they can't guarantee going last, I don't know. But you have an I6 with Ensnare against anything else in the game that can be really dangerous. Instead of trying to load them up with a lot of upgrades that I don't even know if you can actually reach 200 with just the 3, you throw in DFS 311 because DFS gained no actual point cost total, even with the strut built-in cost added in, and now has gained independent calculations for 0 points. So now DFS 311 can take a stress for 2 calculates with independent calculations, toss one out to a friend at start of engagement, whoever needs it most, and it's almost like a little droid that says, here's a little force for every turn, here's a little force wherever you need it. Little force charge for everyone, basically.
It's a tiny little Palpatine out there.
Yeah, basically. It's got a range 0 to 3, and it's start of engagement. It's not as perfect information as Palpatine, but pretty close. Oh, Will made it. I figure Will should probably talk about it.
No, take it. What do you think of this archetype?
Okay.
Oh,
so this is now, are they meant to be Separatist drones, or are they meant to be Trade Federation drones?
No, this is based off of Isophane's list, by the way. I just saw him posted as well. I had
because Seer is initiative 2, so I would think the idea is you want initiative 1 just to not make it weird for Seer to move. But either way, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Vulture droids, whether you do Separatist drones or Trade Federation drones, same cost, your choice. 3 with Discord missiles, and 1 with Thread Tracers, 1 with Ion missiles. All of them have grappling struts. All of them have independent calculations. Captain Seer with Solus 1 and K2B4. I'm unconvinced taking that many drones and basically removing your network calculations to add in independent calculations. I get the double calculate, but it's contained just within one ship. And you're stressing yourself, and every time you wanting to use it, there are still very valuable situations where network calculations allows you to be able to do 1 turns and 3 turns and Talon rolls or K turns if you want later. Unless you're on rocks, then who cares? You're just rotating and removing your stress. What it does allow you to do is take more of these abilities, whether it's added upgrades such as Discord missiles or K2B4 and Seer, put them all on a list and say, I have enough calculates to do this, because I could still launch a Discord missile with my calculate, one of them, and I could still use K2B4 defensively or Seer's ability, whether it's K2B4 to add a evade result unless the attacker chooses to gain a strain, and then Seer basically allowing a crack shot effect while a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 performs a primary attack if the defender is in the bullseye. Before neutralize result step, the friendly ship may spend a calculate to cancel an evade result. So normally with stuff like K2B4 and Seer and Discord missiles, it's a lot of stacks of things that you may be overspending on. With independent calculations, there's a higher possibility that you can do multiple things in a turn. Not that you would need to all the time, but it helps your investment into K2B4. How that works in a big swarm, I would have to see and try multiple games myself to know if swapping to independent calculations for 0 points is effective or not. It still feels like network is still really powerful because you're basically, when you have network, you're fighting a large amount of vultures where all of them can use every single calculate they've taken. So it feels like you're trying to shoot one ship, which might just have 2 agility and 3 health, but has theoretically access to as many calculates as possible, kind of, for every single shot coming into it. I say kind of because network only allows you to add 1 and then your own. So there is some limitation to that. But in a single turn, now you're saying each vulture can only have 2 calculates, end of story. That's my concern.
All right. So there we go. We'll see what the Separatists end up doing here in the times to come in the future. Marcel, what do you want to take a look at?
The first one on the Scum.
All right. Let's go ahead and take a look. So we're starting out with, okay, here we go. Little 4-ship. Read it down for me, Marcel.
Sure. You've got Captain Seer in the way, but it's Captain Justero, and let me go to the other list because 1 second. I'm trying to read it off your screen, but it's very. There we go. Okay, so it's Captain Justero with Afterburners. Then you have Tirani Kolda with Snapshot and R5TK. Then you have Constable Zubio with Pattern Analyzer and Proximity Mines. And then finally you have Sol Sixa with Thermal Detonators, Proximity Mines, Skilled Bombardier, and Dorsal Turret. Dorsal Turret basically just trying to maximize Captain Justero's double shot as often as possible. So the things that I started changing on it right away were that pattern analyzer is a lot. It's a lot of points. So a cheaper way of doing that is a cheaper way of getting that on him is through what's it called? Through Deadman Switch. Through Contraband Cybernetics. So an easier way to get that on him is Contraband Cybernetics because you're probably not going to use it that often anyway. So that's only 3 points. But a way that I like to get it on Constable Zubio is actually through Cicatro Vizago. So let's put Cicatro Vizago on him there and give him a cloaking device just so he can come in and put himself in a good spot to be able to lead with that proximity mine. And then we're going to give Justero the Contraband Cybernetic and remove the Afterburners. I don't think he needs Afterburners. He's not really. He would be the only one that's really boosting in this list, so I don't really think it's necessary. They're going to be flying kind of in a block anyway. Then from here, we are going to add the title to Sol Sixa. Downgrade the thermal detonators to seismic bombs. And then for the astromech, throw Genius on there. So basically what Genius allows them to do is allows them to drop that seismic charge after moving with the mixture of Skilled Bombardier and all of Sol Six's native abilities. His native ability allowing you to drop like at range 1 or 2. At range 1, now it's 1 or 2. And with the seismic charge, it just basically adds to the area that you can cover after you move. So basically just you can put that bomb anywhere and blow anything up and cause that automatic damage so that Captain Justero is more likely to trigger. So and again, just leaving that proxy mine as well because proxy mines with Soul 6 and Skilled Bombardier is really good. Yeah, I mean, and this is what I would leave it. So Tirana, it would end up Captain Justero with a contraband cybernetic that may turn into a cloaking device, depending on what you want to do. Then Tirani with Snapshot and R5, Constable Zuvio with proximity mines and a cloaking device, and Cicatro with Zago, which again you can swap that out with contraband. And then Soul Sixa with the dorsal turret, Skilled Bombardier, proximity mines, seismic charges, and then the Havoc title with Genius. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you do something different?
Just to clarify, you can like decloak forward and then drop that proxy
You
mine, can you?
can't. You can't decloak and drop
Okay.
bombs on the same turn. But
Which is weird considering they just added a ship in the game who can boost and drop a bomb.
yeah, and there's a couple that can
It's
do that.
decloaking. It's totally different.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and the reason the way that they did that is they said at the start of planning phase versus at the end phase with the rolling the die to see if you lose your cloak. It happens at the beginning of planning phase, which is the round already, so you can't drop the bomb on the same round. Now, I don't think the. No, never mind. I was just trying to think: can you drop a bomb and then decloak later?
I mean, you can drop bombs outside of the system phase with like Page Tico, Death Fire, and Vagabond, but I don't think any of those ships can get cloaked though.
Yeah, because I mean, I think the rule
Oh no,
says
I guess Holdo. I think you could in fact Holdo.
Yeah, but he's not decloaking; he's just swapping tokens.
Well, no,
Or
you
cloaking.
can get a cloak on your Veni and then decloak your Veni.
Yeah, but anyway,
and then I
yeah,
guess
you
move, I don't know.
can't do it. But with 4 agility, and that's probably like the cheapest ship. If they want to shoot at 4 agility, and it allows you to kind of go in there and use your tractor beam and put people on rocks and not worry so much about the shots coming at you because you're pretty well protected.
All right. Cool list. Cool changes. Alrighty. So the next one I'm going to take our first order list that we have here. And it is titled, What Obstacles? It's titled, What Obstacles? I'm going to go ahead and grab this URL real quick so that we can pull it up as needed. So it starts off with Blackout, has Trick Shot, Sensitive Controls, 2 First Order Cadets. Those are the new TIE SE bombers, with electrochaff missiles and seismic charges and delayed fuses, and rounds out the list with Hollow and Proud Tradition. So here's one of the major things that sticks out to me right away. So the sensitive controls and seismic charges in the same list, specifically with Blackout, confuse me just a bit. I know that Blackout, with its ability, like out of the silencers, Blackout's the one that it feels like it makes the most sense to actually use sensitive controls with. But if you're planning on using seismic charges in this matchup, like why are you destroying the reason why you brought sensitive controls? So I think with that, you have to make a decision on where you're going to be going here. And personally, I would rather just fly Blackout at Initiative 5 and definitely use the ability as it comes up. And I know that you have like the Electro Chaff missiles, which does put out an obstacle. It can do some seismic charging. Like, that's cool. But yeah, you'd need to do it on the second turn. The seismic charges don't work the first turn, only works the second turn because of it removing the charge initially. So I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna take off sensitive controls to get started with, and I'm also gonna take trick shot off of blackout. So this gives you 4 points to play with. You're at 196 points. After that, let's see what we got here. What are some options? Because we now have 4 points. Can we get... What's the best 4 points we can spend here? It was trick shot is where we were at. Boys, where do I spend 4 points? So I don't want... Go ahead.
Let me ask you, is Blackout the right pilot to round out the fourth ship?
Yeah, if you're taking trick shot and sensitive controls out, then Blackout has no business there. He's too expensive without those two. At 65, with all the shenanigans, he's punching hard.
Right.
But without, he's basically Wedge with a 4-dice gun at that point. But without those toys, he's just a very expensive, he's just expensive.
You know who else is around that point cost? 65. Kylo Whisper with Predator.
Ah, there we go. There you go.
And if you think about Electro Chaff Missile, if people fly through it, they can't take an action and they get jammed. Kylo likes things jammed for the enhanced jamming suite. And Force is good. Especially 3 of it.
Would you take trick shot on him or shattering shot to maybe drop some of the other like fuses or something?
Fuses if you want, sure. But in general, I think Kylo in the Whisper is probably better than Blackout.
Yeah, at the very least, I think swapping out to Kylo Ren and the Whisper I'm going to say maybe better. My only reason for saying may is I think it's going to be dependent on the player. The Whisper's not easy to fly. Very high ceiling, very low floor. Very low floor. So if you don't have that confidence to fly Kylo in the Whisper, then in that case, maybe you go ahead and take the Kylo Ren. Maybe you take Blackout in the Silencer. One of the other options you have in there is maybe taking Feedback Ping if you want to get rid of Predator. You could possibly get Feedback Ping with Blackout and going back in that direction.
Actually, what is the purpose of these bombers even being the i3 versions? Like, they're not even taking a talent. Seems like you'd easily save points by just dropping to the same St. Arjamis test pilot.
There you go. We lost.
Granted, it automatically delete your electro chaffs. You need to put those back on.
Got it. I was like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah, the electro chaff doesn't stick on some of these sometimes when you make adjustments. So
we go chaff. That gives us 2 extra points, and we can get the ping. Feedback ping. Oh no, that's an elite talent. We have 2 points now.
Yeah, ping's only really thing you'd want if you had munitions anyway.
Yeah.
Well, this is where, Will, you were talking about
take a shattering shot. Is that 3 or 4 points on Kylo?
It's 3. You can take shattering shot and you can take sensor scrambler for 1 point in the tech.
Yeah, I like that. I like that
cloaking effect.
Yeah, slim up these bombers a little bit. Invest in your late game.
There you go. So the final form we come out there, we got Kylo Ren in the TIE Whisper with Shattering Shot, Sensor Scramblers, Enhanced Jamming Suite, 2 Sinar Jameis test pilots with the Electro Chaff, Seismic Charges, and Delayed Fuses, and then Hollow with Proud Tradition. I think that's a much... I feel like it's a tighter squad. And if you feel like it's a little bit more cohesive there. There we go. All right. Will, where do you want to go next?
Great question. Let's see. Let's hit up the Rebel list. We got a lot of Rebel lists. for options. But let's take a look at this one here, because it's a basis of actually seeing. I'm going to bring up another list that was talked about on our Facebook, I believe, about places to put Hera B-Wing. Hera B-Wing's not hyperspace legal, so she can be out in full force as well. We have in this list Wedge, also being another pilot who is not eligible in hyperspace. So this one has Luke with no upgrades, Wedge with no upgrades other than foils, Hera Syndulla with fire control system. Might as well slap that jamming in there, and stabilized S foils. And then rounding out the squad is Jake Farrell. And this build has Selfless in there to try to draw some crits onto his 2 shields for one of the other ships here. So this is pretty interesting. Jake can come up, supposed to give Hera focus. She can even focus barrel roll if she's got a blue maneuver on her dial. Then she can move up and lock, giving her at least a single reroll from fire control system and a focus if she needs it. Otherwise, once she's done shooting, then either Wedge can use that focus or lock, or even Luke can, if he wasn't able to pick up a lock, use it as well. I think this is going to be a pretty powerful combination of ships. I think the only thing that I would be missing from this is maybe I'll get a more dedicated coordinator than Jake. Jake's very fast. He's going to overshoot Hera so quickly. He's just going to fly right past her. Then he's just going to be off by himself. It's basically cannon fodder at that point. So what kind of other coordinators can we get into there? Say maybe AP5? AP5 is, yeah, only 32 points, can coordinate stressed ships as well. And then we have 4 points. We could even put on something crazy like a tractor beam. There's nothing else. Marcel, you fly AP5 a lot. Is there anything you really need on him?
Leia. I mean, you don't need it, but that's it.
You don't got the points for it. Ooh, we do have the points for Jyn Urso or Informant. Probably don't need Informant as much, but Jyn Urso would be nice to throw Luke some evades occasionally.
Yeah.
Did K2SO get cheaper? Can you take fire control off and drop K2SO for 6 and put in K2SO for 6 points?
Yeah, that would give you the fire control system. It's nice. It's very nice.
It's nice, but you don't have the. I mean, it's only jamming beam Hera. It's not like an investment of a true cannon. So
it's so that she could use a reroll. And then
so she could target lock reroll and then let somebody else leverage it later.
Yeah, that's definitely.
I think stick with the fire control system. I do like that K2SO option, but I think taking Jyn or so, try to get some evades on Luke when he's already got a lock.
Oh yeah, if Luke already has force, if you're going to focus, it's usually when he wants to be defensive. So why not make that an evade? Yeah. And
I'm going to throw my last points in on Hopeful AP5. Because I think Hopeful is funny, especially with Jyn or so, because you just get an evade. And AP5 literally can't take focus or boost, so he'll never have done those actions at that point in time. So
AP5 is the most hopeful ship we have.
he's a bit hopeful.
And he's at the initiative 1, so he's always going to leverage it.
And you know what?
The best place for
he's
hopeful,
rarely
in my
stressed.
opinion.
He's either coordinating or calculating. He doesn't have focus. He doesn't have a boost. So if you kill someone, he's going to take advantage of it. And you never know. That boosting front and rear arc might get you a range 1/3 dice that's going to matter.
It's true. It just might. So yeah, I think that's what I would change: is get a dedicated coordinator out there instead of Jake. So you still have Luke, Wedge, and Hera with fire control system, jamming beam, and their foils. And then a hopeful, Jin or so crude AP5 in the Sheath the Bead class shuttle.
I will say, Jake, originally I assumed designed to help out, normally a Braylon or an I4, but because AP5's ability to allow coordinate to already stressed ships, which is pretty big for someone like Hera, it definitely will matter as a better platform in this list. So definitely, besides just being a dedicated coordinator, it's one of the best coordinators in the game because of the ability to coordinate while someone is stressed.
Exactly.
I like it. So basically, you end up with three. You got the two X-Wings in the B-Wing doing the heavy lifting on offense, and then AP5 plus Hera's ability and convenient timing helping out with extra shenanigans. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, Ryan, take your next pick.
I'm actually gonna go Republic. I'm feeling the prequels tonight. Let's go with the first one that you have on the list. Yeah, I like that one. So this is an archetype that we saw at actually LSO. Not that he's been the only one that's ran it, because I'm pretty sure people have, but Chris Allen ran this at LSO, and it just feels very Republic the way I like to see it, which is a Jedi plus actually clones, not just like here's a bunch of Jedi and no clones in the entire Grand Army of the Republic. But we have Anakin Skywalker in the ETA with Shattering Shot, Predator. We have Warthog with 7 Fleet Gunner and 2 ARC 170s, 104th Battalion Pilot I2s. Very simple, bare bones, but also you're keeping those ARC 170s on the board, making sure they are always going to shoot because of Warthog. Warthog being a LAT by itself with fire convergence and 7th Fleet Gunner gives it one of the best fire supporting platforms in the game without needing to ever spend an action such as with coordinating, because you're offering rerolls and a complete additional dice. The ETA Anakin, if obstructed, can actually get 4 dice on that shot with Shattering Shot and a 7th Fleet Gunner shot. For people who may not have seen 7th Fleet Gunner in a while, do remember 4 is the maximum amount of dice that can be rolled. So you're not taking your ARC 170s up to 5 dice with it, but you are making sure the front arc of the ARC 170s is always going to be 4 dice when it shoots, at least one of them. And if you're ever going to try this yourself or any other 7th Fleet Gunner LAT, don't be afraid to take the basically reload in the system phase every single turn. That gun from Warthog is a lot of times matters so little versus boosting up the power of one of its wingmates, whether it being Anakin or an ARC with the rerolls and the additional dice added in. The 3 medium bases will block up a lot of space too, giving enemies limited options to trying to pin down Anakin, who already is difficult to pin down as an ETA itself. I think as it is, I think it's a pretty good starting point. I don't see many reasons to change much, only to just try what it is. The only things you can mess around with, I think, is some of the stuff on Anakin, I guess. I mean, they're already pretty good powered options in terms of like the extra offensive capability. If you want to go a little more defensive, you could switch Shattering Shot to Patience, but then you got 1 point just throw wherever, which is probably Sync Council on somebody.
Yeah,
but I think it's pretty good as is.
I think it's good as is. I do like Obi-Wan as if it's just a single ETA. I like Obi-Wan better. One, because it's cheaper. You get 3 points. You get to do more things with 3 points. But also his ability is his ability is better for the solo game, because if you get blocked or something like that happens, just the ability to get that focus and have multiple tokens, especially that focus, is just really good. I think it's better than with the 3 points and it being initiative, a decent initiative in that ability. I think it's better. Then that gives you the 3 points for you to put on. I don't know. You can throw it anywhere actually. didn't really look at this list, but I'm sure you guys. There you go.
Yeah, lean into it. Get trick shot.
Or just put, or you can even put, just yeah, go put trick shotting. You're already getting the rerolls from Warthog, so yeah, just really lean into that hiding behind the rock thing.
They got one left after that. Just
doesn't matter.
Is there a 1 point crew? No, I don't think
No.
so.
no.
Is that the gunner? I swear there was a 1 point.
It's
gunner.
usually if it's 1 point and you're in Republic, you're putting Sync Council on something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't even think there's a 1 point astromech either.
I'd I mean, try both Adas. I don't know, Marcel. I don't know if 3 points that you can find somewhere else to do with is as good as being I6 Anakin. Because there's more things now with having that 50-50 roll, right? That could move after Obi. At least with Anakin, you're only competing with other I6s. And even then, you have really good medium bases to clog up areas against other I6s as well. Which I guess the same could be said against other I5s, but there are more I5s that could threaten Obi in that capacity.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not saying no, it's wrong. I'm just saying that's another option because, again, I just happen to like Obi's ability when he's the only ship out there. He's better. Actually, Shakti's is better, but then you're dropping way, way, way too low.
Yeah, you're dropping down. No, I agree. Obi's abilities are really good, and just don't forget it. We've seen enough times that people just forget about it. Like, it's right there.
Cool. So there you go. You got a couple options there. Very cool. I like the looks from the Republic. Marcel, what you want next?
All right, so I had the Imperial list. That was there, again, the top of the Imperial list. And let me see when you have it up.
There it is.
There it is. So you have it's a TIE Bomber squad. It is 3 Gamma Squadron Aces with the new feedback ping from the TIE-FO bombers. You can use them here as well. With proton torpedoes, bomblet generators on all 3. And then you have Death Rain with trajectory simulator, proton torpedoes, and ion bombs. And again, just being able to leverage the trajectory simulator, and you just don't want to joust this at all. Now, one of the things is with the ion bombs I think is a really good idea, but you only get 2 bombs of those, and then you're going to be recharging, and the likelihood, because Death Rain does not have feedback ping, the likelihood that you'll be getting your proton torpedo off is unlikely. I would drop that down to an advanced proton torpedo because it plays really well with INS. Because if a ship is INS, you know where it's going to be, so you can go ahead and dump your 5 dice on it, and it opens up a ton of points. It gives you a whoa, no, what are you doing? Keep those proton torpedoes on there.
I'm sorry. Did I miss what was going down the ion?
No, I said when Death Rain has ion bombs, it makes it easy for him to line up the advanced proton torpedo.
Got it.
So he's unlikely to land the proton torpedo, but he can land the advance easier. Then I would also add a bomb seismic charge on Death Rain as well. Just give him, so he can have.
Man, you all about those seismic bombs today.
Oh, you got to control those areas with these things, with these ships that don't have a lot of places to go. So you want to open it up for yourself. And then, again, and the next one is just really to take advantage of those feedback pings, is throw delayed fuses on all of them so that those bombs that they're dropping stick around and turn longer. And you can just leverage that feedback ping longer. And that's all I would do. So I would keep it with the 3 gammas with basically the same thing that they had before, just delayed fuses, and then Death Rain with dropping down to an advanced proton torpedo, adding a seismic charge and a delayed fuse.
I feel like that list got a lot better. Like, not just a little bit better, like a lot better.
Question though, do we clarify thermal detonators on Death Rain? You say you launch one with trajectory. Could you boost or barrel and launch another?
Correct. Yes.
You
Because
can?
it's two different drops.
Yeah, because Death Rain is the only one that can do that because his ability triggers after a bomb launches, so not after you launch bombs. So the other one is when you launch one bomb, you have to launch the other one, so that the TIE-FO bombers, they either have to do it before or after the boost.
TIE-FOs have to
But Death Rain
do both of their thermal drops before or after completely a boost. But Death Rain can do it in between. What I'm wondering is it worth to put thermals on him instead, so you could threaten a larger area for that feedback ping? Because I think that's the weak part right now. Like it's strong to have that thermal detonator, to have one of those, but so that's just one.
You cannot launch.
The way you can
time out for a second. We cannot launch and launch. You can only launch and drop because you have to use two different templates. If you have
skilled bombardier, you could.
Yeah, but then okay. So let's try this. Then take the Death Rain off for a second, so I can see the screen again.
We're just killing Death Rain. Got it.
Yeah. So let's take that torpedo off altogether and see what we can do. If we can just make him basically a coordinator, which I don't think is the best idea, but let's drop.
Oh yeah, he still needs to keep something. But I mean, you have ion bombs and seismic charges, which is 7. So
yeah, well, the ion bombs set up the ion bombs is what sets up. Somebody's gonna die when they get ionized. They're gonna get that's
people have a lot of say whether they're gonna get ion bombed or not. They can just turn away.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't as well.
Well, calling people out.
You have what I'm saying is you have
people's intelligence.
That works sometimes.
You have ships that don't reposition or don't have a lot of options of where to go. That's what I meant. Like, yeah, you're probably not going to catch Kylo in that, but you'll catch a ship that's less maneuverable. Yeah, but let's see. So if you take that torpedo off, the upgrading that seismic to thermal. And then that lets you get the gunner. And you
1
can take,
point left.
Yeah, you can take one of the delayed fuses from the top ones and give yourself an ion missile instead, so you can still get that, the ion off, but just now with a missile instead of with a torpedo. No, the ion missile on Death Rain, because Death Rain has no. Yeah, so that way he can still do his ionize and then come in and drop the. Actually, he doesn't have the advanced proton torpedo anymore. So sad. No, I like the original one better that I made.
Okay.
But listen, double launches though.
It double launches, yeah, but the other one hits harder. If you're not here to roll 5 or 6 dice, why are you even playing?
I will say, so while this has a powerful trick, it's a trick that as soon as you run into someone who is smart enough to see it, won't happen.
Okay, if we get rid of the ion bombs, you can get thermal detonators and seismic charges. How is that not better? Isn't that more flexible?
It's more flexible, yeah. It's more flexible. It's less likely that you'll land that torpedo on anybody because you have to predict where they're going to be, but
Death Rain's crazy though. He's just got to get in the mix, get around the other side, and then there's these proton torpedoes looking at people while Death Rain's coming up behind you. I'm gonna get you.
So I would even go as far as just saying take one of the delayed fuses out and take that seismic up to an ion, because you want that ion.
You really want that ion, huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say, aren't the only delayed fuses that really matter are the ones on Death Rain?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, unless you're dropping a bomb lid and K-turning, and they're going to be there a few turns later.
All right, so we're just putting one delayed fuse just to fill it out to 200. Is that basically? All right. So what's that final version there, Marcel?
All right, so we've got the 3 Gamma Squadron Aces with feedback ping proton bombs and bomblet generator, 1 delayed fuse, and then you have one of them with delayed fuse, and then you have Death Rain with trajectory simulator, advanced proton torpedoes, ion bomb, thermal detonators, and delayed fuses. Yep, rounding out 4 ships. Potential of throwing a lot of dice. Potential of throwing very little dice if they can't trigger their ability.
All right. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's roll it back to Will. Will, we got 3 more lists left. Which one do you want?
Let's take a look at the other First Order list. All right, looks like you have pulled up. All right, so this is Kylo Ren in the Whisper with the new Malice upgrade, where you can spend a force to change a hit to a crit, or excuse me, an eyeball to a crit, or a hit to a crit. And if you do a pilot crew damage card, you get to recover 2 force. Pretty cool. It also has Nightfall in it. Nightfall says, after you execute a maneuver or perform a boost action, each ship you move through gains 2 jam tokens. Super useful there to fly over somebody and rotate your arc, kind of like a starboard slash. Then finishes off the list with 2 First Order Provocateurs, which have that fine-tuned thruster, so they can get focus lock, but they have to choose deplete or strain to do so. First off, I'm going to say that not a fan of the First Order Provocateurs. Sure, if they get on the flank, maybe you could take a lot of strains, have some double modified dice. Me though, I am not a fan. So first thing I'm going to do is make 1 hollow. If you're gonna go with this chassis, I think hollow's the way to go. And with Proud Tradition, of course. So you can pass off tokens if need be, whether it's the deplete or the stress. So then we're going to get another pilot here, which is Wrath. So if we upgrade that Nightfall to Wrath, Wrath's ability says, after you perform a bullseye attack, if you have 1 or more non-lock red or orange tokens, you may perform a bonus attack against a different target. So this combos well with Hollow. You can pass him strains, and you can do double taps. Stresses when Hollow does K turns. You can give that stress to Wrath, and then Wrath could as well do the double tap. But I see that we're way over points though. So I think we're gonna have to drop down that last Provocateur. Oh no, I can't even fit Revis in there. Revis would be my go-to here for a token.
You would drop Malice off Kylo, probably.
Yeah, I think we're, 5 points over still? Yep, gonna have to lose that Malice. And with only 1 point left, I think I would reach for probably Fanatical on Wrath. Makes 2 attacks at once. Doesn't have the force, so we're gonna need something on offense. So Fanatical allows him to change an eyeball to a hit if he's unshielded then. It kind of turns it into more of a 3 ace versus like 4 aces, I guess. If you can, I don't know if I'm. Can you guys?
I wouldn't. Nope. Don't even call. Don't even. Don't.
I was just saying. I don't know if I've seen so much Provocateur play, and none of them. I've never seen one do well. I don't know what it is. Maybe if you had like one as like a flanker to like a big TIE swarm or something, but like multiples of them just never seems to work. I think this would be a much better combination. You are running a super slim Kylo Ren, so you're gonna have to make sure that he gets his money worth, whether it's lining up bullseyes or being very offensive first. Like, make sure you're modifying those dice.
At what point
But-
are you just better off dropping Revis and going with the real Kylo?
Because I want a fourth ship. I want a blocker, and I want somebody to dump tokens off to with Hollow. And another
Actually,
interesting
yeah,
thing.
I agree with that one. Hollow wants more bodies, especially cannon fodder bodies.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's you could be really mean to Revis. You could even jam him instead of jam yourself as well. Like, throw him a deplete, jam him, just throw him in there as a blocker. Like, it'll be fine. If they shoot at your 26-point ship, whatever. Like, don't care. Like, you're willing to trade Revis in this list.
Just make sure
28.
if you jam Revis and are accounting for him to be the reason Kylo gets extra dice, that one, he's not just going to get killed and then someone else shoots the Kylo anyway. Two, you don't plan on taking a token action with Revis. You plan on barrel rolling, like you said, Will, for blocking. And three, you actually don't take the target lock with Revis, because then jam goes away.
That's suboptimal. That's like plan D.
It's a super weird niche situation, but if you're planning on doing it, you need to remember some of those things.
But there's so many tokens, though, like Hollow just locking something, either one of the Whispers jamming something will trigger Revis's ability, though. So, like, Revis could be just focus, lock, attacking as well. Like, he's pretty sneaky if you let him fly around and take shots.
I like it. So what's our final form there?
All right, we have Kylo Ren in the Whisper with Enhanced Jamming Suite. We have a Fanatical Enhanced Jamming Suite Wrath. Then Hollow in the Interceptor with Proud Tradition. And then Lieutenant Revis in the FO Fighter.
All right. Ryan, there's one more for you, then one more for Marcel. What do you want to see?
I either go back to Republic and just do that again, or I go to Scum. I guess, you know what? Let's stick. I'm prequel man today. Republic it is again. So this time we have a 5-ship Republic. Going with one of GSP's favorite Goji, with a dorsal turret, 7th Fleet Gunner showing up again, and synchronized council, 2 V-19 Torrents, the Blue Squadron Protector versions with dedicated, Delta 7 Aether Sprite Obi-Wan with CLT, and Anakin Ada with Predator. Now, I do want to point out that even though Goji doesn't have any bombs, is the cheapest Y-Wing. It's 1 point less than the generic. You could take the generic and not take synchronized council, since it literally has 0 difference, because Goji's ability will actually never matter. But you gain a synchronized council for free, so why not? Whatever. V-19 Torrents or V-Wings with dedicated, I think, are pretty good pieces to support any of your Republic Force aces. A lot of times they don't have a lot they can do against some blank results. So taking a strain on a ship that you are okay maybe taking a little bit of damage to make sure ace stays alive, it's a pretty good plan. Dedicated, I think, is a pretty underrated faction card that a lot of people don't rank really high when they think about all of them. They think it'd be pretty integral in keeping some of the aces alive. Now, in terms of the ace combination, a lot of times we more so see Anakin, like little Anakin, in the N1 with Obi Ada. So we're used to seeing Obi's ability on the Ada side helping little Anakin, because we don't tend to see a lot of Delta Anakins. Now, I think this is kind of a under the radar combination, the using Anakin Ada and then Obi-Wan in the Delta Aether Sprite. Giving that Delta Aether Sprite basically purple sloops, 4Ks and 5Ks can be really, really, really powerful for Obi, since Anakin allows friendly Obi-Wan at range 0 to 3 after it executes a maneuver if there are more enemy ships than other friendly ships at range 0 to 1 of that ship being Obi-Wan Kenobi You may spend a force. If you do, that ship removes 1 red token of your choice. So essentially, Anakin could spend his force to make Obi-Wan's K-turn or sloop white in his sense, and still allowed to do actions or repositions to line up that CLT, which can be then boosted even further by the 7th Fleet Gunner effect. That is one of the few things that can go over 4 dice at range 1, because CLT adds that focus during the modification and is not part of the initially rolled total dice. So watch out. I think this as well is another pretty well built list. It's not a lot of stuff you can move around a ton. Yeah, I mean, maybe you play around with swapping the Anakin Obi combination, like I mentioned, since we know the other ones are good as well. But I think this is a very good starting point to go with. There's not really, I mean, maybe you can move the synchronized council around. Maybe you put it on Anakin because he's I6 and there's more places he can be to help out other friendly ships. You could, can't put it on Obi-Wan because CLT occupies the modification and the config slot. So it's pretty much just Goji or Anakin for Sync Council. You already have the cheapest turret with Dorsal on Goji. If you wanted to make those V19 Torrents into V-Wings, you would basically lose out on Goji, or at least 7th Fleet Gunner, which I think is part of one of the reasons why this list is under consideration, at least by the person who built it. Just because the difference in points between a dedicated V-Wing and a dedicated V19 is a 2-point differential. So if you swap those out, you'd have to find a way to make up 3 points. So you could drop the delayed fuses, but you just got to drop 3 points somewhere else if you wanted the Shadow Squadron Escort V-Wings that are dedicated. And that's just messing around with, maybe you drop 7th Fleet, you have 5 points left. I don't know. Got Clone Commander Cody, which won't do too much. You don't have the crew slot like R2-D2 does, but if you do take R2-D2 instead, you then have gained a crew slot and a gunner combined, but then you only have 3 points left. So there's some other stuff you might be able to fit in if you make the Torrents into V-Wings, which can be a little more enticing dedicated carriers, but it just may not work out with that 5th ship as well as you'd like it to be. But I'm a big proponent on that ATA Anakin and Delta 7 Obi combination. I think that's a really good underrated one right now.
Very cool. Very cool. I do like the original list. It's pretty solid. All right,
baseline, original starting point, good.
Marcel, last but not least, you want to take a look at this scum ding-a-ling that we got right here?
Sure, we'll do the scum ding-a-ling, as you said. Let's see, bring it up. I can read it out. All right, so Jabba Lives is the title of it, but I'm going to pronounce it Jabba Lives, like that, because we'll find out. So it's basically trying to, put a question mark at the end of that. Trying to see if they can make that shenanigans work again with but this time the Jabba is going to be supporting Baba Freak. So the way that the list is it's Lando in the YT 1300 with Jabba the Hutt at 11 points and BT1 title, and the Millennium Falcon. Is it the Millennium? Lando's Millennium Falcon title. Then he's got Bosk with Cutthroat, Babu Freak, IG-88D, and Greedo. And then the IG-88A Aggressor with Fearless and the title. And basically it's throwing a bunch of calculates over, not a bunch, you can only throw one at a time, throwing calculates over to Bosk, and basically just fortress him with Bosk, and he's not going to have to move for about 11 rounds, and by the 12th round that he does have to move, game is over. And just parking him back there. I don't. It's just too much into shenanigans. Unfortunately, this list will not do any damage. Bosk only shoots once. and Lando shoots very, with no real consequence. And IG-88, it's easy. I mean, they even move at different speeds. So let's have a little fun here. Let's bring it back to old school. Let's bring it back to like the start of 2.0. So let us start by the Jabba lives. No, Jabba does not live. Get Jabba out of there. So let's cut that man out. Yeah, and put. I want you to add. Actually, leave the title. Leave the title alone. We'll get to the title here in a second. So what we are going to do is we're going to take those 11 points that we saved, and we're going to put it on Zam, because Zam does live. He's still 11 points, but he is a much better 11 points. Already the list got a million times better, but we're going to do more. Let's get rid of that IG-88D3 title. Don't need it. Don't want it. Then we will be taking the... 1 second, let me just look at something here. Yeah. Sorry. So then we will be getting rid of the IG-88A. Obviously, I killed the title because we want to kill that guy. Don't need him. So now let's start having some fun. So let us add Babu Freak. Yeah, we don't want Babu either. Babu. No Babu. We're going to want Contraband Cybernetics on there instead. That's the only correct answer when dealing with a Bosk. All right, so this Bosk is starting to look a little similar. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take Lando, and we're going to change them to the only real YT-1300. Thank you, sir. Dion can build out the rest of this list for me. We're going to put out Trick Shot, as expected, and Kira, as expected, and 000. So you can force those decisions. Give me a token or give me a dice. There you go. That's a lot of points left over. Let's keep that boss the way he should be. Let's throw Gamut Key on there as well. Gamut. Let's keep good old-fashioned Gamut. All right, that's starting to look a little familiar. Then next ship, we are going to go with the Escape Craft and the Lando. All right. So
major download. Lando.
Huh?
Nah, you don't get to fly the ship. You get the pod, bro.
Yeah, you're still in the list. Like you're still in the list. You just got downgraded a little. So let's give him the now reduced tactical officer, so he doesn't stress himself coordinating. And he's poor guy. He's gonna die quick. So let's give him a shield. Let's give him a hull. Actually, let's give him a hull. He doesn't need a shield. Hull works. And then let us go with the. You know where I'm going next, Dion. Come on.
No, I don't. You have 16 points left over. This is really awkward.
What ship can I put in for 16 points?
Are you gonna put the Houndstooth in?
No, try again.
No. Come on, you should know this by now.
You can put both.
Oh,
You
the
can't do
escape.
both, actually.
Yeah. Actually, let's do that. So autopilot. No, you can't because
Autopilot
you're 1 point away.
Houndstooth and Dash to Pup, right?
Oh, if you get rid of that hull upgrade. Hull upgrade escape crafts are the same price as
Yeah, just put
Hawks,
hull upgrade.
by the
Put
way.
hull upgrade on Boss.
That
That's
sounds
gonna
fun,
be
but
better
no.
anyway.
We're trying to make this actually win something. So let's get that Hounds and Nash Pup out of there. Yeah,
No, just take the hull upgrade off Han and put it on, or off Lando, put on either Han or Boss.
No. We're gonna take that Houndstooth off. Give Lando the hull upgrade because he's gonna need to coordinate for a while. We want him alive. And give me the autopilot, of course. And now, let's see. We've got Let us go with. So at this point, it's just a shield upgrade on either Bosk or Han. Whoever you think is your. I would go with. On either of those.
Han seems pretty good to take. I mean, I know you have Kira, but false transponder codes seem pretty good on Han as well, since he's I6. And you got 000 already.
Yeah. Oh, actually, Rickshot. Let's put cargo shoot on.
No, you need overtuned
like
modulators with Gamut Key. Gives you a bunch of calculate. and then you can hold on to the calculates.
Nah. Nah,
This list
rigged cargo
confuses
chute.
me.
Yeah, just put it on put the rigged cargo chute because Han likes those debris. Anyway, so now you've got Bosk and Lando supporting Bosk, and then you got Han doing what Han likes to do. Basically, I said earlier on that if you're not rolling 5 dice, this one can roll 6 dice. So that's how you play X-Wing. You roll
And
a
it was
bunch
the
of
rare
dice.
opportunity for you to bring 2 big base ships that is technically a 5-ship list, when you could have had Nashta Pup and the autopilot drone and the Lando Scapecraft with the other.
Sure,
2 big
okay.
ships.
Take off the hull upgrade on Lando and to make Ryan happy. Take the hull upgrade
It
off
just
Lando.
seems fun. It seems like
There you
something
go.
you would try one time.
Yeah, why not? Do it on there, and now put the Z95 pup on there. There you go. Congratulations, you're flying a 5-ship list with.
Sort of.
You're flying a
With,
5-ship
with
list.
3 that actually start on the board.
All right, so go
There
ahead,
you go.
read down the final form, which has completely changed.
Oh yeah, I told you we're going to the origins of list of the week, where we follow no rules around here, and we bring autopilot drone. So it's gonna be Han Solo with Trick Shot, 000, Kira, BT-1, Gunner, rigged cargo chute, and Lando's Millennium Falcon. Of course, equipped with the mandatory autopilot drone. Then we have Bosk with Cutthroat, Zam Wessel, Gamut Key, Contraband Cybernetics, Greedo, Houndstooth title with the Nashta, with the Nashta Pup equipped, and then poor little Lando got downgraded to the Escape Craft with Tactical Officer. So actually, this seems like a lot of fun. I don't know what you're saying. To me, it seems like a ton of fun to play. So anyway.
All right. Well, there you go. There were, a plethora of extended lists. And one of the coolest things going through this, guys, is that, so many of the lists were very different. It's got a lot of the list building juices rolling in my head. I definitely want to sit here and tinker with Yasby a bit. But really what I'm excited about is in a couple weeks we have the Scarif Galactic Championship qualifier coming up. If you haven't signed up, go ahead and get it. As of right now, I think we had I know we've sold about 90 tickets, but only 50 people have actually finished their registration. You guys should do that. Save me a little bit of time, at the witching hour, we have 60 people. Every qualifier has been 60 people all of a sudden show up at the sign up at the end. They're like, Dion, why am I still pending? And that's because I'm panicking because all the signups happen at the same time. So save me a little time, spread them out, spread them out just a bit. But if you want to get a ticket, you have until until basically the beginning of the player meeting to get it done. About an hour beforehand would help me out. It's happening during the Berlin, Germany time zone, so make sure that you get it done. All right. So other things going on this week before we head out is Marcel and Will and I are playing in a team tournament, and this is the first week of play. I officially have my game scheduled. I'm a little nervous, guys. A little nervous.
So, I won something. So I won the lowest costing list or starting list in the tournament with 129.
I'm not
so-
surprised. You're
71 points of upgrades.
You're such a stacked upgrades player. I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, so
Granted, I do
my-
know some of those low cost ones can be like 7B titles.
Yeah,
and
well, that's what it
contents or
was. Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, because the one next, the next player, I was at 129, and the next player closest was Tommy Adams with 131. Basically, I took Obi, Baby Anakin, and Ahsoka. He took Obi, Baby Anakin, and Plo Koon. So Plo Koon's a little more pricey. So I beat him out by 2 points. And don't be nervous, man. We got faith in you. But Sorry, I interrupted.
We'll report back next week and let you know how week 1 went. We're playing against a team out of Australia, I think it is.
Yep, they're Australian.
All right, cool. So should be a good time, and like I said, we'll report back. I'm not nervous at all. Now about this week's streams, we have a couple things kind of going on. So next Saturday is the Pastimes Store Championship. I want to play in that. And essentially, one of two things are going to happen. Either, option A, we don't stream Wednesday, but we're able to stream the Store Championship on Saturday and have kind of like remote commentary, figure that out, all that there. Or we stream on Wednesday. We'll probably have to do it through TTS. And then we have no stream on Saturday because I'm gonna be focused on the on the Tour Championship because I'm gonna be playing. So what's the
Is
exact?
Marcel playing too?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, me and Kayla.
Oh, friendly competition time.
Oh no, Kayla's gonna beat us all. It's not gonna be competition. It'll be a bloodbath.
I want to set up a GSP bet.
Yeah. No, she's got the A-wings again. We're in trouble.
I'm getting told by Elsner Berg, Mr. Morales, you better play some X-Wing. I want. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to do. Marcel started it. By forcing me to play in this team tournament. Like that's where it all started. So, yeah, we'll figure it out. So TBD. You know, so many of you guys are already on the you got your notifications on Twitch and stuff. And, of course, most of you are on our Discord as well, which if you haven't joined, I suggest doing that. ! Discord or click the link in the description down below. All right. That's it for today. Short, simple, and sweet. And we'll be back next week to talk about some more lists. I got a more in-depth topic I want to hit next week, but today let us focus on some list building, and if you got anything really cool you want to talk about, hit us up on the Discord. But that's it for today, everybody. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Stay smart and stay safe. Gold Squadron out.